Field at Newport Harbor High School. Please be aware that the dynamics of an artificial turf field require preventative security and safety measures, and as such, families and guests will not be allowed on the field following the ceremony. The graduates will meet you once they've exited the field at the conclusions of today's event, which will begin in just a few moments. Our prelude, Triumphant March, by Peter Tchaikovsky, will be performed under the Newport Harbor High School Symphony Orchestra under the direction of Mr. Andrew Julian. Leading the faculty processional this afternoon are ASB President Paige DeCince and Senior Class President Preston Pitchess, carrying the flag of the class of 2022, as well as current Newport Harbor teachers who once graced this field as graduates, carrying the class flags for their own graduating classes. Accompanied by Kevin Weed on the bagpipes, please welcome the faculty and administration of Newport Harbor High School. Ladies and gentlemen, with music from our own symphony orchestra and with the names to be read by esteemed faculty members Melissa Taravella and John Rissa, please welcome the Newport Harbor High School graduating class of 2022.
Benedict.
Preston Gary Pitches.
Kevin Brian Forbath.
Sophia Marie Norton LeClaire.
Michael Christopher Gurka.
Devin Julia Pence.
Mason Durham Hunt.
Nathan Andrew Peters.
Samantha Joseph.
Kaylee Elizabeth Reed.
Quinn Mitchell Kirkpatrick.
Logan Monroe Ridenauer.
Graham Allen Klein.
Fallon Terrell Rowerding.
Emmitt Jeffrey Butler.
Dylan Robert Wanch.
Isadora da Costa Correero.
Giselle Scarlett Mejia.
Alejandro Fala Ocampo.
Sophie Elliott Pruss.
Gabriel Anthony Gutierrez.
Monica Reyes.
Delaney Elizabeth Hendrick.
Elizabeth Lynn Riley.
Abigail Dolores Hickson.
Margaret Parker Smith.
Morgan Reese Lamond.
Geneva Shea Stanley.
Kyle Enrique Maldonado Pimenta.
Ava Jo Trestick.
Zephyr Kingsley Aarons.
Lillian Sophia Urresti.
Hannah Ashley Abel.
Karina Yushen Wang.
Mia Lauren Aborshali.
Adam Jason Lockman.
Nina Marie Abramo.
Roddy Van Lai.
Itzel Agama.
William Tran Lai.
Brittany Aguayo Beltran.
Xander Elijah Lake. Lillian Lourdes Lancer.
Kimberly Aguayo.
Emma Sophia Larson.
Valentina Isabella Awatsi.
Nan Tun Lei.
Alexa Marie Ahumada.
Chloe Marie Leclerc.
Alicia Marie Airy.
Cody Thomas Lytham.
Sadie Lynn Alaluf.
Ivan Nomar Leon.
Carlos Adan Alcantara.
Alexis Leva Mendoza.
Leilani Marisa Alfaro.
Dylan Matthew Lee.
Denise Crystal Amador.
Abigail Linares.
Brianne Elizabeth Anderson.
Trent Anthony Liolis.
Sydney Nicole Anderson.
Aliana Michaela Lloyd.
Bodog Berlin Hampton Andranian.
Grace Pauline Long.
Juan Nicholas Aramburu.
Alex Saul Lopez.
Priscilla Marie Archuleta.
Anjali Jaden Lopez.
Emmanuel Arista.
Brian Allen Lopez.
Dylan Wareham Ost.
Jair Lopez.
Marina Concetta Baker.
Josue Lopez.
Faye Pauline Balane.
Zimri Daniel Lopez.
Andrew Thomas Baldakowski.
Samantha Lopez Arevalo.
Damian Robert Banks.
Mauricio Martin Lopez Ochoa.
Aaron James Bard.
Alexandra Margaret Love.
Guillermo Alfredo Barrias.
Jeffrey Grant Lowell.
Jillian Joy Bauer.
Evan Ryan Lucor.
Savannah Mikhail Baum.
Austin James Luke.
Elise Barbara Margot Baudu.
Avery St. Michelle McDonald.
Owen Beaver.
Christian Anthony McDonald.
April Mendoza Bello.
Avery Neal McKinnon.
Bruce Winfred Bennett.
Laura Ruby Madraga.
Jaden Alexa Ray Benson. Malia Paige Birkenfield. Mia Nicole Blair. Nicolette Liana Blanchard. Caitlin Renee Bland. Bryce Hudson Blazer.
Zane Thomas Maddox.
David John Michael Blatt.
Joseph George Casey Mater Dock. Jennifer Madrigal.
Daniel Maxwell Blau.
Kevin Donovan Magdaleno Garcia.
Jordan Bowles.
Clancy Nicholas Mahoney.
Cole Vaughn Borgreave.
Madeline Anissa Malouf.
Tenley True Boring.
Ana Beatriz Montelanto Diaz.
Leo Thomas Boyle.
Michael Angelo Marine.
Brody James Bradfield.
Olivia Lynn Marley.
Aubrey Leanne Briggs.
Luis Angel Martinez.
Piper Gwen Brosnan.
Gayul Alexander Martinez Munguya.
Anela Saleh Brown.
David Nicholas Martino.
Aiden Justin Brutman.
Brooke Elena Matthews.
Bailey Marie Buddy.
Cindy Yareli Mayares.
Lana Shea Burns.
Charles Christopher Mazzeo.
Megan Jewel Burns.
Kaylani Miko McAdams.
Sienna Ashlyn Burns.
Dominic Gaitan McBride.
John Stanton Burrill.
Rourke Thomas McCarthy.
Piper Green Cagle.
Sean Allen McCarthy.
Brianna Camberos Moreno.
Aiden Christopher McCrory.
Amanda Lee Campbell.
Catherine Elizabeth McCrory.
Caitlin Joe Caputo.
Michael Thomas McCrory.
Ryan James Cardos.
Shelby Flynn McDougall.
Lisbeth Cardoso Hidalgo.
Cole William McKibben.
Juan Manuel Carranza.
Elizabeth Rose McMahon.
Dorothy Carrillo.
Oliver Benjamin McNamee. Kira Lynn McPhee.
Valerie Paige Casella.
Alan Barreto Mejia.
Jonathan Casillas Delgado.
Bianca Melendez Ramirez.
Anaí Nidia Casillo Legaspi.
Sherlyn Bernarda Mendiola.
Bridget Bonnie Caulfield.
Christopher Omar Mendoza Monroy.
Jesus Julian Ceja.
Catherine Neva Metcalf.
Jorge Alfonso Ceja.
Caitlin Ann Meyer.
Taylor Kathleen Chapman.
Alexander Matthias Mink.
Emmanuel Che.
John Andrew Minkin.
Andrew Bryant Chenier.
Whitney Rose Montgomery.
Connor Anthony Chenier.
Ella Kalia Moore.
Paulo Enrique Chirele Montagnana.
Kadem Orlando Morales.
Troy William Christensen.
Jaden Michael Moreno.
Peter Allen Clark.
Ryan Grace Morgan.
Emma Grace Coatsworth.
Kenneth Aiden Morgenstern.
Sterling Hebert Coberly.
Damariz Delilah Morcheco.
Charlotte Haley Coder.
Neda Munoz.
Orlit Guadalupe Callan Archundia.
Rodolfo Emmanuel Munoz.
Roman Thibault Collins.
Kevin Giovanni Munoz Juarez.
Aiden Scott Como.
Beverly Estela Murillo.
Faith Ann Cancian.
Paige Nicole Nagel.
Desmond Parker Conley.
Alexa Lynn Nelson.
Tyler Robert Cornuke.
Luke Joseph Nestor.
Michaela Lynn Cotton.
Morgan Netherton.
Madeline Claire Crafton.
Adam Kwok Nguyen.
Chloe James Crispin.
Colin Duke Nguyen.
London Rose Crispin.
Sophie Lynn Norse.
Isabella Karina Cruzalegui.
Hannah Kimberly Nye.
Naomi Mary Cuffey.
Taylor Robert Nye.
John Matthew Davey.
Tasman Janabel Nyman.
Gianella Vittoria Davila.
Anne Glynn O'Brien.
Heidi De La Rosa.
Luke Colin O'Brien.
Marjan Paul Polinton de Quiros.
Emmanuel Ocampo.
Kelly Wolf Dector.
Jacqueline Bernice Ojeda.
Emmy Grace Deegan.
Cynthia Daniela Oliva Vargas.
Jorge Del Bosque Varela.
Connor John Olson.
Jackson James Del Señore.
Lucas Brian O'Neill.
Donovan J. Del Valle.
Taylor O'Neill.
Isabel Sofia Del Villar.
Yaritza Adelene Ortiz.
Daniela Delgado.
Jocelyn Andrea Padilla.
Jennifer Delgado.
Allison Kamali Paipe Martinez.
Sophia Fiona Devling.
Nikki Jean Palmer.
Samuel James DeCarlo.
Emily Jisun Park.
Chase Isabella Dionio.
Mia Madalena Passero.
Reese Ashley Deshawn.
Jack Henry Pearson.
Carmela Louise Ditto.
Genesis Pedrosa.
Haley Reese Dodman.
Jack Colton Pembroke.
Molly Elizabeth Dowdy.
Carlos Gael Perez.
Phoebe Sophia Pauline Douglas Mortimer.
Victor Axel Perez.
Eric Dwight Dewson.
Brian Perez Escobar.
Nathan Life Dewson.
Andrew Robert Perkins.
McKenna Lee Duncan.
Mason Tyler Perry.
Kieran Seamus Dunn.
Edwin James Peterson.
Hayden Micah Durkin.
Reagan Joyce Peterson.
Cooper Samuel Dwight.
Mia Angelina Petralia.
Lauren Elizabeth Dye.
Santiago Lucas Piaggio.
James Stanton Eady.
Vincent Joseph Piazza.
Hannah Margaret Egan.
Kyle Gregory Pitcher.
Brianna Eggers.
Mason Michael Pitcher. Bodie Christian Willem Polhemus. William Dawson Purcell.
Haley Soleil El Haji.
Nicholas Gregory Regatz.
Hunter William Ellis Manclark.
Dana Paola Ramirez.
Camila Isabel Encinoso Linares.
Nicholas Fabrizio Ramos.
Jimmy Enciso.
Adrian Renee Ramos Perez.
McKenna Engelking.
William Stewart Rankin.
Jaslyn Starr Ernst.
Reese Myers Rasmussen.
Benjamin Alec Irvy.
Yamil Farhat Razo Dominguez.
Connor Cope Fay.
Ryan William Reed.
Jordan Cope Fay.
Dylan James Reese.
Hayden Edwin Farley.
Riley Harvey Reese.
Rowdy Britt Farmer.
Margot Anna Rekir.
Lilly Carolyn Fourier.
Areli Reyes.
John Patrick Fay.
Grace Marie Richardson.
Landon Cole Fedukowitz.
Thomas Edwin Richardson.
Ryan Kenneth Felch.
Michelle Stephanie Ridenauer.
Angelina Lydia Fercano.
Richard Michael Rimlinger.
Jeremy Raiden Filekoff.
Nathan Alexander Rittman.
Drew Ellen Fitzpatrick.
Elisha Jane Robertson.
Saray Fleck.
Ever Rose Robertson.
Alondra Michelle Flores.
Ian Kenji Robertson.
Anaí Flores Rivera.
Caroline Robertson.
Cheyenne Love Fortin.
Zachary Gendo Robertson.
Madison Claire Flores.
Eduardo Yimbrocha Bautista.
Noah Ian Feugelman.
Brian Alexander Rodas.
Miles Jason Franey.
Joseph David Rodriguez.
William John Fosselman.
Natalia Viridiana Rodriguez.
Jace Christopher Foti.
Natalie Rodriguez.
Sophia Christina Frere.
Jennifer Rodriguez.
Emma Gail Fultz.
Brian Rodriguez Romo.
Katie Rose Fivey.
Giselle Fatima Romero.
Jake Stewart Gaddis.
Rafael Patrick Rodriguez.
Annalisa Leila Gaff.
Jack Christopher Roman.
Logan Randy Gagne.
David Allen Rosen.
Leah Danielle Galvin Roca.
Cole Rosine.
Alex Garcia.
Kimberly Ruby.
Isabella Tatum Garcia.
Sasha Violet Runnels.
Henry Douglas Gastineau.
Emmy Page Ripple.
Daniel Joseph Geary V.
Giovanni Vincente Savatasso.
Grant Gearhart.
Hassan Khalid Zakaria Said.
Lillian Grace Guess.
Isabella Maria Salerno.
Brandon Aaron Gilberto.
Veronica Emily Samayoya.
Jackson James Gillis.
Eric Ivan Sanchez.
Travis Bond Gilmer.
Alessandro Marcelo Sanhuesa.
James Sino Glidewell.
Aiden Joshua Seckham.
Evelyn Lee Gilpin.
Layla Rose Shahab.
Tyler Anthony Gianfrido.
Sebastian Julian Shunda.
Kennedy Taylor Givens.
Caden Jacob Siciliano.
Quinn Leaf Gladstone Lamas.
Amanda Joe C.
Cosette L. Joyce Godoy.
Jonathan Daniel Siegel.
Harmony Lamont Golson.
Angel Alejandro Silva.
Cadence Lamont Golson.
Grayson Jeriff Sebastian Simon.
Ashley Paige Gomez.
Caden Kai Skibby.
Melina Gomez.
Layla Macy Hasagawa Slayton.
Juan Manuel Gonzalez.
Luke Carey Slutsky.
Omar Sebastian Gonzalez.
Finnegan Alistair Smith.
Tanya Daniela Gonzalez Zuno.
Ryan Anton Smith.
Maya Godo.
Taylor Cole Smith.
Tyler Michael Gravelin.
Wyatt Anson Smith.
Kate Cameron Gregory.
Kendall Lane Solomon.
Ella Kathleen Greg Reagan.
Dean Michael Serapis.
Sydney Ray Griffin.
Kiernan Scott Springborn.
Olivia Catherine Gritzmacher.
Emma Simone Stantic.
Aisa Andrean Grum.
Sophia Claire Stark.
Luke Martin Grunberg.
Duke Wyatt Starnes.
Alfredo Guido Chavez.
James Owen Sterling.
Serenity Jocelyn Guillen.
Ella Mae Stevenson.
AJ Gutron Moore.
Haley Kristen Stevenson.
McKaylee Ann Hansberger.
Drew Janine Stinson.
Lana Nicole Hansen.
Austin Edward Stokes.
Sophie Lynn Harlan.
Cole Ryan Suko.
Luke Thomas Harner.
Ryan Michael Sumter.
Riley Lynn Harrington.
Olivia Rose Swain.
Stuart Porter Hartel.
Holden Mandis Swanson.
Brooke Nicole Hasegawa.
Madeline Lois Swart.
Heba Hassan.
Caitlin Shannon Sweeney.
Renee Michelle Hayes.
Ryan Ming En Tao.
Kaylee Marie Hartman.
Kimberly Tejeda Naranjo.
Adilene Azucena Hernandez.
Maria Guadalupe Tejas.
Alberto Valentino Hernandez.
Timothy James Fears.
Max Hernandez.
Quinn Akita Tochikubo.
Maylene Joanne Hernandez.
Jody Olivia Tokumoto.
Jocelyn Alejandra Hernandez.
Josias Emmanuel Tolentino.
Brandon Edward Hernandez Sanchez.
Roxanne Victoria Townend.
Jaime Andres Herrera.
Libby Claire Tribwasser.
Ian Andrew Heron.
Hudson Carter Vasek.
Cody James Hess.
Vivian Aaron Vallely.
Gabrielle Catherine Higgs.
Emma Penelope Vasquez.
Sydney Elizabeth Hill.
Isabella Vega Zatina.
Hannah Riley Hilson.
Kaylee Velasquez Baena.
Nathaniel Marcus Hiramoto.
Viviana Dianara Velasquez.
Travis Hong.
Gage Matthew Vertigal.
Joseph Andrew Hurley.
Kai Jacob Villasenor.
Jack James Hutchinson.
James Rowan Wutaja.
Teresa Wynn.
Samantha Amy Wallace.
Kayla Elizabeth Eyrig.
Saoirse Lynn Walsh.
Mazzy Rebecca Immigart.
Lily Lee Walton.
Lauren Nicole Izzy.
Camille Elizabeth Waltos.
Anthony Joseph Jackson.
Lauren Eve Webb.
Ryder Cannon Phillip Jackson.
Brigitte Kylie Weber.
Caden Chase Jardim.
Nicholas Werner Weber.
Charles Wyatt Jeffs.
Gabriel Hunter Weiss.
Cora Jensvold.
Bienvenido Harold West.
Elise Lyon Johnson.
Shay Weston.
Jenna Nicole Johnson.
Traden Mark Wheeler.
Montgomery Van Johnson.
Noah Stephen Wickett.
Noah Anders Johnson.
Caroline Nancy Williams.
Evan Robert Jones.
Paige Regan Williams.
Carla Montserrat Jovel Ramirez.
Sienna Rose Williams.
Sydney Jules Jover.
Alethea Marie Williams. Winley.
Chase M. Judd.
Evan Shane Wisdom.
Catherine Ann Kaiser.
Ashley Michaela Wong.
Braden Richter Kasuf.
Lauren Schuyler Woodard.
Kiana Caitlin Kaler.
Claire Catherine Woods.
Haley Ann Keene.
John Brandon Woods.
Carson Blake Keaton.
Samantha Pearl Wooliver.
Michaela Jane Konjorski.
Joseph William Wright.
Colin Richard Kermode.
William Brandon Yanez.
Mackenzie Noel Kerrigan.
Peter Dean York.
Paige Scott Kidder.
Ace Kaito Zaitsu.
Nicholas William Kim.
Alyssa Ann Zamora.
Brandon Michael Kincaid.
Zachary Philip Zamora.
Bima Robert Kernbauer.
Armando Zepeda.
Julian Forrest Knott. Caden Dallas Knowles. Alexander Owen Colef. Maxwell Henry Curl. Yes. Alexis Juliana Cosell Gavilan. Matthew Warren Lang Craft. Ashley Sarah Krantz. Philip Michael Krieg. Kennedy Paige Kubiak. And in absentia, we have names to be read. They are graduates, but they are at the Rowing Nationals today. Cameron Lee Bradford, Adam Christopher Kassler, William Philip Deutschman, Thomas John Dowdy, Reese Owen Duntley, Laura Lynn Graves, Shia Levin, Jagger Christopher Lewis Grenz, Clay Campbell Ribas, Sean Joseph Ribas, Davis Oten Schroeder, Ross Wayne Ziegler, and Chloe Camille Zolman.
Ladies and gentlemen, the graduating class of 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats as ASB President Paige DeCince and Senior Class President Preston Pitchess lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and remain standing for the singing of our national anthem by Newport Harbor High School vocal music led by Mr. Jeffrey Ladon.
Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please stay standing.
may be seated. Good afternoon, parents, family, faculty, friends, and graduates, the class of 2022. My name is Sean Boulton, school principal. Thank you for attending Newport Harbor High School's 91st commencement ceremony here at Davidson Field. Joining us for this afternoon are Newport Mesa Unified School District Board members Carol Crane, Board President Michelle Bartow, who will be accepting the 91st graduating class, Shar Matoye, Ashley Anderson, and Karen Yelsey. Also in attendance is Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Wesley Smith, Assistant Superintendent of Elementary Education, Mr. John Drake, Assistant Superintendent of Secondary Education, Mrs. Carrie Torres, Executive Director of Secondary Education, Dr. Kurt Bauermeister, Principal of Newport Heights Elementary, Mrs. Terry Clark, Principal of Newport Elementary, Amanda Estrada. Thank you, Newport Mesa Unified School District School Board, Dr. Smith, and district personnel, and Harbor Zone colleagues for the endless support this year. Thank you to all faculty and staff here at Newport Harbor High School for carrying the heavy load through the pandemic, finding opportunities to unify our educational community, and getting us to this point, graduation. Every year, we also say goodbye to some teachers and staff who have given our dear school everything, educating and serving countless students along the way. We would like to recognize Mrs. Mary Glenn, Dr. Ron Menardo, Mr. Ed Bell, and Mr. Joe Robinson, who has been teaching here since 1969, who have collectively given our dear school over 150 years of service. Thank you. Thank you for the commitment, dedication, and remaining so loyal to Newport Harbor High School.
Buenas tardes, padres, estudiantes, familia, maestros, amigos y graduados. Ustedes, la promoción 2022. Gracias por asistir a la 91ª ceremonia de graduación de la Escuela Newport Harbor, aquí en el Estadio Davidson. Esta tarde están presentes los miembros de la mesa directiva del Distrito Escolar Unificado Newport Mesa, las señoras Carol Crane, presidente de la mesa directiva, Michelle Bartow, quien graduará esta promoción, Char Matoye, Ashley Anderson y Karen Yelsey. Asimismo, contamos con la presencia del superintendente, el señor Wesley Smith, el superintendente adjunto de educación primaria, el señor John Drake, la superintendente adjunta de educación secundaria, la señora Carrie Torres, el director ejecutivo de educación secundaria, Kirk Bauermeister, la directora de la escuela primaria Newport Heights, señora Terry Clark, directora de la escuela primaria Newport, Amanda Estrada, y la directora de la escuela primaria Newport Coast, la señora Summer Harding. Gracias a la mesa directiva del distrito escolar, al superintendente Smith y al personal del distrito y a los colegas de la zona de Harbor por su apoyo incondicional este año. Gracias a todo el personal docente y administrativo aquí en Newport Harbor por sobrellevar la carga durante la pandemia, por encontrar oportunidades para unificar a nuestra comunidad educativa y por guiarnos hasta este punto, la graduación. Cada año también nos despedimos de algunos maestros y personal que le han brindado a toda nuestra escuela, educando y sirviendo a innumerables estudiantes a lo largo del camino. Nos gustaría dar un reconocimiento especial a la señora Mary Glenn, a los señores Ron Minardo, al señor Ed Bell y señor Joe Robinson, quien colectivamente le han brindado a nuestra escuela más de 150 años de servicio. Gracias, gracias por su compromiso, dedicación y por permanecer tan leales a nuestra escuela Newport Harbor.
Thank you, Mrs. Hemmerling. We would also like to welcome School Board Member Mrs. Krista Weigand. Thank you, Preston and Paige, for leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance and the vocal ensemble for the national anthem. One of the most consistent questions facing this graduating class has been, when will school return to normal? Allow me to share with you the response from the class of 2022. After being the first event canceled in March of 2020, Urresti comes back to the Wentz Theater and sells out for 4 straight nights. There was a triumphant return of Evening of the Arts, the Pop Show, the Jazz Picnic. Drama performed Harvey, All Together Now, and 9 to 5. And to cap it off, marching band performed in the 2022 National Memorial Day Parade in Washington, D.C. less than 2 weeks ago, belting out Anchors Away down Constitution Avenue. Our culinary program was in Washington, D.C. last month, too, as they won the FCCLA Culinary State title and then competed at Nationals in Washington, D.C. 18 episodes of TAR TV, The Return of the Beacon, and another stellar yearbook produced under very challenging circumstances, especially in the fall, and a robotics team that won our district competition. Hype and energy like no other in the post-pandemic tar pit. Why? A number of our teams went deep into the CIF playoffs, breaking long-standing school records that stood for decades. And 8 athletic teams earned their way into CIF finals. We came away with a record 5 CIF Southern Section championships, boys volleyball, girls lacrosse, girls water polo, boys water polo, and a gritty football team that earned two improbable come-from-behind playoff victories. And let's not forget a cheer team that was runner-up in CIF competition this year, too. To cap off the incredible athletic run, boys volleyball, girls and boys water polo, and baseball went on to win 4 CIF Southern California Regional Championships. Old math or new math, it does not matter. That still equates to 9 CIF titles this year alone. And in domination that will set the bar high for years to come, basketball, lacrosse, and baseball won CIF titles for the first time in school history this past calendar year. You throw in Orange County Female Athlete of the Year, and this class, to cap it all off, the class of 2022 wanted no part of any return to normal. They came, they saw, and they crushed normal. Let's call it what it is, a return to greatness. I have been blessed to serve as principal of this outstanding high school for 9 years now, but I cannot think of a moment that I've been prouder of a graduating class than I am right now. Make no mistake, this was not an easy year for any of us. From the students and parents to the teachers and counselors to the administration and staff, we were all feeling the stress, the anxiety, the exhaustion, and even the occasional hopelessness of the so-called return to normal. All of us carry our own scars, but you will forever share the bond of fellowship brought on by the upheavals of the last 3 years. All of you found your sea legs after 3 semesters marooned in your bedrooms on Zoom. But beyond this, the class of 2022 has been the most decorated, award-winning, successful group of graduates since at least before you were born, and perhaps since even your parents were born at Newport Harbor High School. This record of success will form a foundation of achievement for years to come, as you will be represented on all 9 campuses of the University of California, 12 Cal State universities, and a host of local community colleges and top-notch post-secondary institutions across the country. Our graduates will also be well represented in apprenticeships and in the workforce, in trade and technical schools, while others will take a gap year to travel. And 3 will serve in our country in the United States Armed Forces this year too. Will the 3 graduates serving our country next year in the Armed Forces please stand and be recognized? Thank you. Class of 2022, tonight your journey begins. On behalf of the entire school community, I leave you with these words. May all your journeys be safe. May your discoveries be bountiful. May your lives be blessed by love of family and friends. And may the tides of destiny carry you to uncharted and unimagined success, just like this school year. Thank you, class of 2022. I love you all. Congratulations. And as always, go Sailors. And now, our first student speaker, Parker Smith.
Graduates, teachers, family, and friends, what comes to mind when I look out at all of you today on this momentous occasion is, man, we're lucky to have good school colors. Like, there's a field of graduates sitting somewhere else in America in lime green graduation robes. But instead, here at Harbor, we get to wear our classic navy blue and gray every time we put on a uniform, Battle of the Bay t-shirt, or Newport Harbor pajama pants. And finally today, our cap and gown. For each of my years at Harbor, I've gone to don her gray and blue every time I put on my marching band uniform. I think some of my favorite years of high school were spent in that 100% polyester sauna suit. Head held high and feet in step, I always felt proud to be a sailor. However, I recognize that only a handful of people sitting here today know that the proper response to Band 10 Hut is TARS, and that this is the signal to play Anchors, our fight song. But in my opinion, that's a wonderful thing, because we are living proof that there is not one way to be a sailor. As your graduation speaker, I was tasked with providing a homogeneous reflection of the experience of the class of 2022. And quite ironically, that homogeneous reflection is that sailors are unhomogenizable. Each and every one of us sitting here today has had a wildly different tenure at Harbor. For some, it may have been the best 4 years of their life so far, yet others may be looking hopefully to the promise of the future beyond high school. We are 557 individuals who have forged our own path and made our own place here at Harbor. Every one of us has contributed to and shaped our school in the most gloriously unique way possible. We've won 5 CIF titles, performed in our school's first bilingual musical, raced cardboard boats in the pool, started clubs, handed math homework in 3 days late, planned rallies, been invited to sing in New York and march in Washington, D.C. This graduating class has shown nothing but tenacity and dedication throughout the instability of these past 4 years. But lest we forget, Newport Harbor was built in a time of instability. In the midst of the Great Depression, our school opened her doors. Newport Harbor has stood through the Second World War, the assassination of Dr. King, and the 9/11 attacks. And each time, she's emerged changed, but still intact. Shaken but still strong, sailors have continued to push forward regardless of the challenges we have faced. Because like Dr. Boulton says, diversity is our strength. We are stronger as a whole because of our individuality, not only as a school, but as a society. Every single one of us has something to offer the world that no one else can, ourselves. Class of 2022, we have left both our figurative and literal mark on Newport Harbor. Our nearly alma mater is an even better place than it was 4 years ago because we all made it ours. Congratulations, and as always, go Sailors. Thank you.
Well done, Parker. Thank you, Parker. Here to perform What I Did for Love is Lillian Urresti.
Kiss today goodbye, the sweetness and the sorrow. Wish me luck the same to you, but I won't regret what I did for love, what I did for love. Look, my eyes are dry. The gift was ours to borrow. It's as if we always knew. But I won't forget what I did for love, what I did for love. Gone, love is never gone. As we travel on, love's what we'll remember. Kiss today goodbye and point me towards tomorrow. We did what we had to do. Won't forget, can't regret what I did for love. What I did for love. What I did for love. Love is never gone as we travel on. Love's what we'll remember. Kiss today goodbye and point me toward tomorrow. We did what we had to do. Won't regret, can't forget what I did for love. What I did for love. What I did for love. Thank you.
Thank you, Lillian. Please welcome English teacher Mrs. Amy Caulfield, who herself is a graduate of Newport Harbor High School, who will give us a faculty reflection.
Well, looks to me like you've made it. And as Dr. Boulton just mentioned, I stand before you not only as a faculty member, but as a class member of Newport Harbor class of 1988, the class I refer to as the Crazy Eights. So to commend the class of 2022, I hereby dub you, with a nod to Vin Scully, Deuces Wild. It's good to be a sailor on the field today. I love me some mixed metaphors. I'm sharing with all of you today, beloved learned graduates on the field, supportive parents, family and friends in the stands, and the outstanding and hardworking professionals at Newport Harbor High School. I wrote this for all of you, but like so many writers, I also wrote it with one person in mind. As a teacher of writing, I know we're often better at the job if we have one person in mind that we write for, even while we ultimately look to reach a wider audience. The ancient Greeks defined this individual in the form of a muse. My muse is not up on Mount Olympus, but sitting right here on the field. A long time ago, the older folks in the stadium and on the field, like me, were told that school was about the 3 R's, reading, writing, and arithmetic. So don't ask me how they got 3 R's out of that, as only one begins with an R. So instead, today, graduates, I'm going to share with you something else that I hope you take away with you from Newport Harbor, not just the 3 R's, but also the 3 G's. The first G is grit. Back before 2020, teachers in my department would often concern ourselves with the notion of how to help students find this important substantive quality. Well, I'm here to tell you, class of 2022, that you no longer need that instruction. You have learned it in spades, and we're so proud of you for it. You accepted sacrifices for all of us. You endured not only being locked out of this fine institution, but one of the 9 circles of Dante's hell, otherwise known as Zoom. You adapted to the continual change and demands of a world in crisis. You had patience for all of us, and most importantly, you stayed the course. Because as Winston Churchill once said, if you're going through hell, the most important thing to do is keep going. And if John Wayne, patch over one of his eyes, Rooster Cogburn style, came riding up on this field right now, having just left the Wild Goose Tavern on 17th Street, he'd have nothing but respect for your real-life fortitude. You've got it, true grit. Your second G is goodness. We're counting on you for this. There's so much screwed up on this planet. Before the dolphins all teleport away and thank us for the fish, we need you to make it better for all of us here with your goodness. There are many things that you're already good at, that you've been graded on, or awards and titles for as scholars, artists, and athletes, and we're so proud of you for these accomplishments. But it's those things that you won't be graded on as you go on that means so much. Challenging yourself to take on big problems with no end in sight, forgiving others for their mistakes and misdeeds, especially your elders, and caring for yourself and others to keep making this world, your world, a better place. From here on out, it's up to you to behave as honorably as you can without expectation of reward. Goodness never gets a letter grade, but it's the only thing that really matters. So here's the last G, and for this one, I'm going to tell a little story about my daughter. So many years ago, right before Christmas at the Unitarian Church Sunday School, the teachers wrapped up rocks in lovely little Christmas wrapping papers and bows and handed them out as packages to the kids in the room. So the expectation was that upon opening, the kids would be disappointed, and then the teacher would have a moment to talk about gratitude and being polite at Christmas, I guess even if Santa brought rocks, or something like that. But instead, Bridget, at this point in her life, she's 4, not so great at waiting or listening to directions, ripped into her package right away and burst out in happy surprise. Oh, a rock! Thank you so much. Look, mine has different colors. And I could tell by the look on her face that she was thinking about throwing it. And so about that time, I hustled over and I took it away from her. But here's the point. It might be something we understand at 4 or 5 years old, but it's easy to forget. And it's your last G, gift. It's all a gift. Even those moments you have to fight through. All of it, this life, and it is yours to live. It's tempting just to notice this at special moments, on celebration days like these, but all your moments are a gift, like listening to your favorite song. Sing or dance along, enjoy all the notes in between before you reach the end. And you, all of you, have been our gift these past 4 years at Newport Harbor High School. So the older folks out there, they've got their 3 R's, but you also have your 3 G's, grit, goodness, and knowing all of life is a gift. More I cannot wish you. Congratulations, Newport Harbor class of 2022. Deuces wild. Go Sailors.
Thank you, Mrs. Caulfield. Now please welcome to the stage our next student speaker, Mason Hunt.
S-O-N-D-E-R, Sonder. Take one thing away from my speech today, let it be this addition to your vocabulary. A sonder is a realization that each random passerby is living a life as vivid and complex as your own. Look around. 6,000 of us here today, each with our own ambitions, struggles, dreams, and you likely think you are the main character in this movie that is life. But what does that person to your left think? What does that person 3 rows in front of you think? Surely they believe they too are the main character. And yet to you, maybe they're just an extra. So I urge you, look around and celebrate those individuals. Celebrate their dreams. Celebrate what they stand for. It's that freshman wandering the halls, or that teacher you never had but drives by you belting out classic rock. By embracing the Sonder, you give significance to those seemingly insignificant extras in your life. And in turn, they give you gratitude. You realize that no act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. Beyond calculus theorems, physics principles, and constitutional amendments, Newport Harbor High School has taught us to live in the Sonder, to connect with those around us, and learn how to make the world just a little bit brighter. I look out to the nearly 540 graduates and 6,000 guests who are here to accompany us in triumphant fashion, to congratulate the class of 2022. And I ask each of you to join me in the Sonder for a moment. Newport Harbor is defined by its staff, who have become a star-studded supporting cast in each of our movies. There's Lamar, whose shoe collection is unbeatable. Adriana, a new grandmother to a beautiful baby boy. There's Profe Albatar, whose support dog Savannah fills her classroom with smiles. And of course, there's Dr. Boulton, whose hate for country music is really only rivaled by Mr. Clay's obsession with Madonna. It is when we understand these faculty, these staff, are members of our administration as more than just working educators, but as people, that we experience the magic of Newport Harbor High School, the magic of the Sonder. Thank you to these faculty, as well as to our parents, who have helped make our 4 years at Newport Harbor High School a blockbuster production, even in the midst of a global pandemic. Let me give you some highlights of our film spanning 8 semesters. You know, ESPN could make a sports documentary based on the 5 Newport Harbor sports teams that won CIF sectional titles this year: girls water polo, boys volleyball, football, girls lacrosse, and boys water polo. These teams gave us yet another reason to belt Queens, We Are the Champions, and to sing our alma mater. But those athletes had to be fed, which is why MasterChef needs a Newport Harbor extension, because our culinary program and the Shipyard Cafe are an epic treat. It was those muffins at break that always seem to make the classes go by just a little bit faster. And granted, it has been a challenging 4 years filled with uncertainty, but we had entertainment through it all. Dancing with the Stars pales in comparison to Newport Harbor's Dancing with the Staff. Plus, our Urresti performance, which sold out 4 nights in a row, by the way, never failed to impress. So now, the credits are scrolling through as our high school film comes to a close. But rest assured, kind of like Star Wars, our movies are just too profitable for there not to be an epic next one. And TAR TV will film them all. As a graduating class of 2022, we are destined for greatness. We will become actors. We will build businesses. We will save lives. We will create families. We will be Sonderers who have fun doing it all. We, the class of 2022, are resilient and ready to begin filming our sequel. So as the curtains close and the bolded words spell congratulations on the screen, I ask you one last time to join me in the Sonder, to look around, take it all in, to say thank you for the memories. Thank you for your appearance in our movie that is life. And now I challenge you, go off, make another blockbuster. Thank you.
Please welcome Newport Harbor High School vocal music, who will not be playing country music, under the direction of Mr. Jeffrey Ladon, as they perform Rise Up.
You're broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round, and you can't find the fighter, but I see it in you, so we go walk it out. We go walk it out.
Mountains, and I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid, I'll rise up. that we have each other, and for that we have each other. And we will rise, we will rise, we will rise, whoa, whoa, we'll rise.
And now, to deliver a senior send-off is Emmitt Butler.
What do you want to be when you grow up? No, that question used to be so relevant. I mean, maybe a little bit much for a bunch of kids that just barely learn the alphabet, yeah? But it got us thinking. What do you want to be? A question commonly misinterpreted to only mean, what do you want to do, right? What job do you want? But you see, that's not how my generation took it. No, that's not how we took it. That one question became our pledge of allegiance, an allegiance to unapologetically being ourselves. What do you want to be? Well, I'll tell you what we became. We became the generation that no longer accepted because I said so, or be realistic as conclusions to our dreams. We became the generation that questioned everything. Social constructs, social systems, social norms, religion, identity, independence, sexuality, self-worth. I dare you, and you, ask any one of these kids right here if they've dealt with depression. You're guaranteed an uncomfortable nod. That's because we took that question personally, yeah? What do you want to be? Well, I want to be myself, but I want to be better than that. So we push ourselves, we improve ourselves, we better ourselves. But we do it for ourselves, and we do it without losing ourselves. And that's a scary thing. Especially in the age of the internet, right? The age of everybody's got bigger problems and triumphs than you, and they're never going to shut up about it. You see, that question really ought to be rhetorical. What do you want to be? We should be asking ourselves that over and over and over again because it'll keep yielding different results. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's great, kid, but isn't the definition of insanity doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results? Yes. Yes, it is. I don't know. Maybe we're a little crazy. You ever hear about that trained fanatic farm boy with the funny voice? I mean, this kid drops out of high school at 16, gets rejected by the army, and has the audacity to think he's going to change the world by drawing cartoons. I'm telling you, that Walt Disney is a crazy man. What about that woman that wore potato sacks to school and thought reciting Bible verses was a cool party trick? I mean, this lady literally just talks to people. There's no way she's going to become a pioneering female billionaire. That Oprah Winfrey is crazy. What about that dude that thinks he's a Buddhist because he doesn't shower or wear shoes? Who seriously won't shut up about how that one time when he tripped in his garage was the most moving experience ever? Yeah, okay, bro, you keep talking about those magical fairy boxes with that 2.65 GPA. Oh, he dropped out? Shocker. That Steve Jobs wasn't going anywhere anyway. Uh-oh, he did go somewhere, didn't he? Yeah. And we carry around his little magical fairy boxes everywhere we go. You know, watching Oprah on them while we ride Space Mountain. Look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you who to consider a genius. That's your prerogative. But one thing we have to agree on is that there was not one person who has really changed this world that wasn't considered a little bit crazy, a little bit weird, a little bit different. And that's why I have no doubt we are going to change the world, because we are a hell of a lot more than a little bit crazy, a little bit weird, or a little bit different. Because we already know what we want to be when we grow up. I said it once, I'll say it again. We want to be ourselves, but we want to be better than that. Oh my God, the world's not ready for us, but they better start getting prepared, because the storm is coming, and it's called the class of 2022. Let's go change the world! Woo!
Well done, Emmitt. And now, please rise as vocal music and the Symphony Orchestra performs the Newport Harbor High School alma mater.
Arms up.
Would Board President Michelle Bartow please come to the podium to assist me with the next important announcement? One of the principal's most pleasant duties is the annual certification of the graduating class. Board President Bartow, I'm pleased to report that the class of 2022 here assembled has met the graduation requirements established by the state of California and the Newport Mesa Unified School District, and are therefore eligible to graduate from Newport Harbor High School.
Congratulations, class of 2022. I am so honored to be here today on behalf of the Newport Mesa Unified School District Board of Education. In September 2018, you may have had a pretty clear idea of what high school was going to be for you. You would play the sport that you'd practiced for years, you would take more math, or less math, or more English, or more art. You might try some new electives, you might go to the prom. There might be a few curveballs. Then halfway through your sophomore year, life threw everyone the biggest curveball. And I promise I didn't coordinate with Dr. Boulton, but what inspires me so much about your class is how not normal you are. I've spoken with many of you as student board members, athletes, artists, musicians, and awards recipients, and in all cases have come away marveling at your resilience and maturity. You have built a community at this school that is supportive, accepting of differences, and encouraging to your peers. You have done so while playing sports, working at jobs, and helping your families. You are great role models. Your gratitude for the good things in life and your ability to say thank you to those who have helped you is a good lesson for us adults too.
Your ability to pick yourself up when things don't go as planned and work just as hard or harder on achieving your goal in a way that is different than you'd ever tried before is remarkable. This is what makes the world a better place and where great leaders, innovators, artists, and athletes come from. Now is an exciting time to look forward, but don't forget what you've learned. Keep trying, sometimes a different way, until you succeed. Keep building friendships and communities with those who are different, and keep saying thank you to those who give you encouragement and sometimes big pushes of support along the way. I am excited for your future and humbly in awe of all that you've accomplished. And so, on behalf of the Newport Mesa Unified School District Board of Education, it is my honor to say that I accept the qualifications of this Newport Harbor High School class of 2022, and by the power vested in me by the state of California, the County of Orange, and the Newport Mesa Unified School District, I declare the Newport Harbor High School class of 2022 graduated. You may move your tassels from the left to the right.
This concludes the commencement exercises for the class of 2022. Good night, congratulations, and as always, go Sailors.